I am out here at S&S Custom Street Cars, where I have commissioned their team to take my 1964.5 Ford Mustang and completely destroy it. Now this Mustang is one that I actually bought when I was 16 years old. I'm 41 now, and there's been a lot of changes that have been made to this car long before I even got a hold of it. It was 30 some odd years old when I purchased it. Now, if you come to the front of the car, you're going to find 3 physical indicators of the differences between that 64.5 and 65. The first thing we'll see right here is there is a little indent here on both sides of the front edge corner of the hood. 64.5 came with a little bit of a bevel that actually came down. We're not gonna see it on this one. This one's completely flat. That hood was no good, so we had to replace it with this one. These 3 louvers on the housing for the radiator are only going to be seen on the 64.5. You will not see those louvers on the 65. The last thing on the front is the horn. So if you open the hood and see 2 horns underneath it here that are original, that is a 64.5. This old Mustang I actually bought when I was 16 years old. My dad had to talk me into it because I absolutely freaking hated Ford Mustangs back then. I was a Chevy fan. Show me a Camaro or show me a 67 Chevelle, I would have had it. But a Mustang, I was like, no. But I ended up buying it for several reasons. This car had 5 lug wheels instead of 4 and came original with a 289 V8. Now, this is a Windsor block. 351 from Ford from 1969. This is not the original block to the car, but this is what is going to be going into the Mustang. It's like Christmas around here. This is what is going to be going inside of the car to put all of that rubber that's underneath of it into a pile at the end of the car. I can't wait to do a burnout in this thing. Now, let me just show you some of these parts that are going into this car. That right there is a 351 that's stroked out to a 408 with, I'm being told, going to have around 500 horsepower. This right here is the flywheel, and I think it's like 60 pounds. And along with that, we're gonna have this premium clutch set that I'm told I can dump the clutch at any given moment and it'll put all the power right to the wheels. We have a lot of parts in here for the motor. We've got some gaskets here for the heads, harmonic balancer here that is also really heavy. Valve covers, beautiful. There's the intake manifold. It's a weigh-in and it's aluminum. And this is going to be accepting not a carburetor. We're not going carbureted on this car. We're actually going to be going Holley fuel injection. And here's the part that's most likely going to trigger those true Ford 1964.5 Mustang fans. There used to be a shock tower here on both sides. We've cut that out and we've put a Mustang 2 IFS with disc brakes up front.
We've now had caps put on it, and this is all going to be cleaned up and look pretty. This does 2 things. Looks good, but it also has the structural piece that we need.
There they are. This is my keychain I'm going to be using for later on. This is the original shock towers. And as you can see, the leaf springs are gone and original shocks are gone. We have replaced that old system with a killer 4-link suspension. This fender right here, as well as the outer wheelhouse, this door, complete door, this fender, and all of the floor pan has been completely replaced. We're gonna put this motor together here in a few, and you're gonna see all the immaculate brand new components that are going into it. One more cool thing I wanna show you really fast before we start assembling this motor. Check out that cylinder head right there. Aluminum, oh, it's beautiful. It's definitely lighter than the original cast heads.
Okay, so we are finally at the point where we're putting this motor together. When I say we, I mean Randy here. He's the professional. I just got through talking to him about who the professionals are here. We have B-roll behind the camera. We have Randy here on the motor, and I'm a professional credit card swiper. So what he's done here is he's put the cam all the way in, and then what they've done is they've gone through and what did you have to do to the block to get it prepared?
We bored it out, 30,000.
Ford 30,000. So I took it from a 351. We're going to a stroker 408.
I believe so, yep.
Yep.
And then they line honed it, made sure that the crank was perfectly in line, and then cleaned it up real good.
Put the freeze plugs in, honed the cylinders, got that prepared. They've preset all the rings on the pistons over here. So all the pistons, they already have the rings on them. All the caps are ready to go, all the bearings. Crank is in. What does that weigh, you think?
A lot.
I think it's 40 pounds, 30
Probably,
pounds?
maybe a little more.
So what he just did there is he's spinning it. Each time he puts a connecting rod on here and a piston into place, he's going to continue to spin that to make sure that there's no issues with it. 500 horsepower, and then a little extra just for the kids. He's focused on making sure that everything is proper on this. If you mess up and miss one thing, the whole motor will scatter. Connecting rod right through the block or the pan, even after startup, if everything's not done correctly. So what we're doing here is he's tightening everything down, but not completely tight yet. Got a digital read right there to make sure that he's not tightening everything all. See that? That's foot-pounds right there.
Well, we're headed to 100.
Starting low and going up. 3 steps to 100. Start 50, then 75, then 100. This is the timing chain and gear. This is going to connect on to the crank, and they have to be perfectly lined up. So he's got indicators here on this one and indicators down there on that one. Get them lined up just right. If these are not lined up, everything will go wrong.
Trying to make sure that everything's lined up still.
Got the 4030 Elusive ring compressor from Summit. Without this bad boy, there was no way of dropping those pistons into the cylinder, but now that we have it, let's go drop 8 pistons into the hole.
Oil the cylinders, makes installation a little bit easier, plus it prevents a ring burn or seize or scoring on initial startup.
So it's tapered a little bit, right?
Yes, it's tapered to the exact same size as the bore of the cylinder. And as soon as Randy's ready, we'll tap this down. Slamming slugs.
Slamming slugs. Supposed to do. Oh, that's beautiful. Watch this right here. I got a colonoscopy happening tomorrow. I envision it being a lot like this.
What?
How do the English drink their tea?
Delicately.
Very delicately.
See the reason that is ground out?
On both sides.
That is crazy. Randy basically just dropped the cylinder head on. We've got the gasket here. Everything is, you never start cranking on it till you know you're on the bolt. You don't want to slip off of that, right?
Correct.
Then you mess all this up if you do that.
Mistake made on small block Ford. The oil pump drive has this little washer on it, but this is what drives the distributor. And when you pull your distributor out, it pulls this out.
Not much room in there though to work with. That rod right there that spins that pump is sneaking right between that area right there. Look at how close that is. There's not much space there at all. What can we get to with this motor, do you think?
You'll be good at 65.
65?
Yeah.
That's redlining it. No need to push it that hard when you have this much horsepower. And this tiny of a car. We're not racing for pinks. We're just cruising around town.
Inside the pan here. See how it's got these? So
Yep.
when you accelerate, these close and keeps the oil here instead of shoving it back into the
Instead of
pan.
spraying
And when
all
you
over.
brake hard, same thing right here.
Keeps
it's
oil down
technically
there.
a racing oil pan.
I like it.
Since you're going to be racing this bad boy, right?
Just racing to the gas station.
Isn't that party? Isn't that party?
Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. That's a pretty engine.
hurt this engine I built you, I will hurt you.
I'll just bring it to you to change oil.
No, I will hurt you if you hurt my engine. Okay?
See that? Pride.
Right.
Just got a text from the guys over at the shop, and we are about 20 minutes away, and he said 40 minutes is when I gotta go. This beast is ready to roll. Get over here as soon as you possibly can. It's go time. Let's do this.
Okay, so they're over there prepping it up. I can see it. I can see it. This is almost like being in the hospital when the baby's born. You're going in, you're like, I can see it over there. I can see it. Oh, she looks mean. Oh my goodness. Good. Sounds so good. Oh, yeah. Look at this head rock. Oh, it sounds so good. Yeah. Smells good too. That's it.
Yeah.
All that for
that, right?
12 seconds.
Yeah.